Hey guys, Dazzletter Magic here, and if you're thinking that title might be clickbait, well, one, this is my channel, we don't do that here unless it's a click prank, which is a completely different thing. In fact, if you haven't seen my definitely real official 2018 Magic the Gathering the movie trailer, oh, that's a real thing on my channel. And secondly, really, this doesn't sound like something hypocrites of the coast would do in their free time between not hiring black people and bitching about what a victim they are on Twitter. So let's talk about Carmen Handy, not sure if that is their real name. I'm assuming the Twitter handle, at EM_TEEGEE, which that's awesome, is also not their real name, but they posted not a twit longer. No, they kept it classy. They did the OG screenshot of something typed in Notepad. If that ain't the most, screw technology hipster crap I've ever seen, boy. I don't even mean that in a bad way. In college, I did a whole presentation, and instead of using PowerPoint, I just used Windows, slideshow and just made them all the same aspect ratio as the projector. That's right. JPEGs. Anyway, I'm just going to read it. When I was hired by Wizards of the Coast, I was a member of the Rivals League. That was something they did with, handpicking a bunch of people. I wonder why they settled on this trans individual. Hey, remember when they checked more boxes with the Latino lesbian and she turned out to be a Nazi? I am not kidding. Seriously, she had like 200 followers on Twitch or something. I think I have more than that, and I haven't streamed there in about 7 years. Boy, was that a bad look. If you're not familiar with Wizards history, it's just, they are the biggest hypocrites I've ever seen. But I mean, if you're not familiar with this as well, they're hyper far left. But when it comes to actual practical stuff, instead of just patting themselves on the back so they can feel good, like they're not about actual change, okay? I get it. They hired a bunch of like LGBTQ plus whatever people. They even hired the plus. They had a pedophile, self-admitted, wrote a book about it that is heavily paraphrased, but look it up, as head of story. They fired 2 women to give that guy his job. He was recently fired after being heavily suspected by the community of causing 1.5 lawsuits. Let's just put it that way. He completely and solely, from what I heard, ripped off the Dragonlance authors, who I believe are, at least one of them is a woman. Kind of weird, because he personally likes women. Minus 10 years. I swear, every comment on this video is going to be, are you making this up? Let me just reply now. No. All right, this is just going to turn into more of a train wreck. Let's stick to this story. Here we go. So when I was hired by Wizards of the Coast, I was a member of the Rivals League. Shortly before my hiring, Eric Froelich left the Rivals League as a result of his partner getting hired at WOTC. Part of his contract was paid out. Now remember, like to be in it, you get like a contract. I think that was separate from the streamer contract. I never saw any numbers, but I might be wrong. That might be the group that got the streaming contract, but they were at least $70K a year. I can't imagine what the Rivals made if that was a separate thing. But they did it, and then they changed it, and then they got rid of it. So like my head's still spinning trying to figure out what was what. I thought the Rivals League was just the Losers League. I think it was eventually or originally the Invite-Only League or whatever. I don't know. It was their whole like, ooh, fanboy e-celeb, whatever. We can stop rigging tournaments by giving people buys and still have the fanboy culture around longtime pros while continuing to let them cheat, in my opinion. So I thought it was like his wife or girlfriend or something got hired at WOTC, and then like that was a conflict of interest. I think that's what that was with Eric. I mean, yeah, I cover this stuff in videos, but that doesn't mean I give a flying which is like the fast track to not remembering something. If my brain marks it as not important. Anyway, they go on to say, when I was hired, I specifically asked if I could be similarly compensated and was told that the details of the situation made it so that wouldn't be possible. I accepted this and didn't argue. Now see, that's what I don't understand. Oh, we're inviting you to the Rivals League, but we're not giving you any pay at all? Or, I mean, the exact wording used was similarly compensated. So was that just, can I have about the same amount of money? Or like if I left early, would I be partially compensated? Why would you, before you even join, say if I leave early, can I have money? I don't know. There's a little bit of confusion here, but it goes on. 2-ish weeks ago, I found out that when Chris Kavartek, or however you say it, was hired by Wizards of the Coast, he asked that they pay out part of his Rivals contract, and they did. Now see, they could maybe call that a signing bonus, but like, you're kind of getting where this is going, right? So I told my manager that I was upset by this, and my manager told me he would do some digging for more information. Today, I had a meeting with my manager and an HR representative and was told that they cannot confirm or deny details of other people's pay/compensation packages. Now see, that is true. People took issue with this, but that's true. And will not be making any sort of equity adjustment. And that's the whole statement. So I hate covering this without knowing like all the facts, who did what, when, what the heck the Rivals League is, what the compensation was. I know they ended it. Did they compensate people for the rest of the time? I think they didn't. I mean, if you guys got any like further details on this, they're very scarce. Even on Reddit, it's just people complaining and not contributing anything. I know, shocking. It's like a trans individual's discrimination suit against WOTC on Reddit, and people didn't contribute any useful facts or additional information and just complained. Who would have thought? Now, people are saying this is a gender thing. I don't know if I even want to touch that, but let's just say that Carmen Handy is biologically a male with gender dysphoria. We'll just call it that. So they consider themselves trans. My opinions on that are not welcome, but let's just say I know / I'm friends with 3 trans people, and 2 of them are transitioning back. Oh, and if I count the guy I used to play Magic with, it's actually 3 out of 4. Anyway, you want an opinion on trans people? Why the hell are you asking me? What would I know about it? Go ask a formerly trans person who got therapy now, can tell you more about it. So there was a follow-up by Carmen. I received information that leads me to believe this is resolved, and assuming everything plays out as an HR rep has told me it will in the next few weeks, I am perfectly satisfied and feel good about my future as WOTC staff. Oh, so Carmen got hired. Okay, that kind of makes sense. That was kind of the little fact I was kind of missing in all this. The update came a lot later. And then I guess the Rivals League still exists? Okay. And they wanted a partial payout for not completing their contract, and they basically just said like no, and also we can't comment on the other 2 people who very, very clearly did get a payout. Now remember, this isn't like a policy change and okay, fine, we'll like grandfather you in or we'll make an exception. No, remember, 1 person was before, that was Eric, and 1 person was after, allegedly. Carmen was in the middle. So they told 1 person yes, 1 person no, then 1 person yes, in that chronological order, allegedly. That is unbelievable. And they're trans, so I would be fishing for, considering it was, 2 weeks later, they said? I'm just throwing around, what would be the reason? What do you think? Yeah, there are some other fair things, but like, then they resolved it when it went big. And by big, I mean, let's see, 2,109 upvotes currently on Reddit. Come on. You might say it's petty, it's manipulative, it's stupid to like, if somebody is knowingly screwing you over in massive money and affecting your life in a massive negative way and treating you poorly, to go on the internet and summon a bunch of people to get mad about it. I completely disagree with any take that says you shouldn't do that. I mean, I think maybe I've partially done that once, depending how you look at it, but I haven't had to resort to that. I tend to just handle stuff myself. But when there's no other out and there's like massive money or your job or like a legal issue or like ridiculous fake charges or something like that, I'm just trying to think of any other examples from other YouTubers I watch. Or especially when YouTube accidentally deletes your channel with like 1, 2, 3 million subs. Yes, that has happened multiple times. They had to go on Twitter, get real loud about it, and get stuff done. When you're out of options, I mean, Carmen said they talked to, like the manager, HR staff had a meeting, and they're still like, no. I'm sure it was brought up that Eric and, what was his name, Mark or whatever, both got compensated for leaving or entering the Rivals League or whatever the hell happened. And the answer was still no. So what do? Threaten to quit? I mean, why would you keep quiet about this? Why wouldn't you tell the community about this? Not even like for your own sake, which, come on, that's why they did it. I mean, read the original tweet. Having a hard time today, #WOTC staff. Come on. It might as well have said, about to not be having a hard time with this anymore. Please retweet for visibility. But like I said, I don't really have a problem with that when people are just like, this is how I'm going to solve the problem. And 2, I'm going to let people know what this scumbag company is doing. Because let me just close with a really, really appropriate comment on Reddit. Why, in all caps, do these things keep happening? Wizards has a track record of stuff like this. Yeah. And every time they seem to take a step forward, they wind up taking 2 back. Let me just answer that. 1, the step forward was fake half the time. It was just virtue signaling or for money. And 2, most of the steps forward were a very select few token hires of certain different, check boxes that they can check off at their company. And the rest are rich, out of touch old white people from Seattle. So there's your differing takes and differing actions, like them not hiring black people, then immediately turning around and tweeting out, hey, we're only hiring non-white people for this role. Haha, that's one a funny example. No, once again, they did that. And yes, that is illegal in Washington law, and probably the other 49 states, but that's where they're located. So anyway, they go on to say, maybe this was an earnest mistake. No, but wouldn't one think they'd be extra careful after all the problems they just had? Yeah, you would think. It makes me question whether the banning of offensive cards, quote unquote offensive cards in card art, greater representation in new card arts, no, over representation going way too far with it and shoving it in people's faces instead of doing it passively in the background. So once again, no, you are completely out of touch. And third, the printing of the LGBTQ, why'd you remove the plus? They love plus there. You gotta add people who think they're horses and fairies and then call it a gender. You gotta do it. Anyway, if those secret layer products were in good faith. No, they were not. It's like, oh, pat ourselves on the back, and affect nothing, and then make money. I wonder why they did those three things and then refuse to pay a trans person and then pay the person before him and after him. Now, in my opinion, I do think this person was just starting drama. I'd love to hear the other side of it, but we never will. It is a perfectly legitimate response to say we don't discuss other people's compensations, but I thought that Eric had made it, like, public that he got compensated. Yeah, that horse has already left the barn. I think there's some kind of, like, what do they call it? Like a public knowledge clause or self-disclosure or whatever. Yeah, this just all around doesn't look good, but that's why I think something was different about the position, the contract, I don't know. I think they were just mad and wanted money. And everybody knows, it's not a secret, WOTC underpays everyone at that company. Someday I'm going to make that dang Glassdoor review follow-up thing. You guys got to hear what some of the ex-employees had to say. Like, basically, like, a percentage, double-digit percentages from what I heard of your compensation package at Wizards of the Coast is getting paid under the table with, sample product that may or may not go up in price over time. And you can just take it home. Not to mention the alleged insider trading by multiple people there. Yeah, it's a scummy, dirty, upside-down, backwards company full of hypocrites from everything I've heard. Overwhelming evidence, but still, like I said, my opinion and my take on it. In other words, don't sue me. Although, if WOTC sued me, let's just say I'd make a video about it the next day, and I don't think things would go very well for them at all. So they should probably not do that. But anyway, doesn't mean I'm going to play chicken and not cover my ass. So hey, with that said, hope you enjoyed the background footage to this video. And I'll see you guys next time WOTC discriminates against someone, probably this week still.